Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get right into today's video. So for today's video, I am going to be doing some Gel X nails using products from Kiara Sky. I also wanted to take a moment here and share their new small mandrel drill bit. I was super excited for this launch. This is currently available on the Kiara Sky website. You can purchase a bundle where you get the small mandrel bit and also sanding bands. You get 3 packs of sanding bands and you can choose out which ones you want, but you can also purchase the sanding bands separately. Each of the sanding bands are $7.99 and it comes with a 50 count, and then for the actual small mandrel drill bit, that is $14.99. For the bundle, you do get to choose 3 sanding band packs, and then you'll also get the mandrel, and the price for that is $33.11. So I will be linking down below the bundle and also the individual items as well down below. In total, there are 6 different sanding bands. We have the white and then the black, and then the grits are fine, coarse, and medium grit. And in each of these little packs, you do get 50 of the small sanding bands. So like I was saying about how I was super excited for this launch was because this sanding band or this mandrel drill bit is going to be absolutely perfect for people who love doing Gel X nails. It is going to come in so handy when you're etching the nail tip, when you're sealing the cuticle, when you're prepping for gel extensions. It is just going to be a lifesaver, and I have never seen a small mandrel drill bit before, so this was just something that was so exciting for me. I did have to get all of the sanding bands and of course the small mandrel. This was sent over to me as PR from Kiara Sky. I was able to pick it out though, but again, I am very, very blessed and super thankful. I also am a brand ambassador for Kiara Sky now, so I am making a small commission from any purchases that you guys make using my discount code or affiliate link. My discount code is NAILEDBYBRANDI10, and you can support me by using that code when making a purchase, but you can also use my affiliate link and you will be able to support me that way as well. So let's go ahead and quickly just take a look comparing the regular like mandrel drill bit and the sanding band, and then taking a look at the newest small mandrel. Again, I cannot tell you guys how much this excites me. You can see here that when you get the small mandrel, of course, you won't be able to use the regular standard sanding bands because they are going to be way too big for the smaller mandrel model. So again, for the sanding bands, you can choose from the white or the black. To be honest, I don't really know the difference here. If you know the difference between the white and the black, feel free to comment that down below and let me know. Tell me your knowledge, but really, I don't know the difference. But there are 3 different grits. We have the fine grit, the medium, and the coarse. My personal favorite to use is the fine grit because that's what you can use on your natural nails, and honestly I just prefer using that when I'm doing any other filing. I may go up to a medium or a coarse if I'm filing down like debulking polygel or acrylic, but mainly the coarse or the grit that I will use is a fine grit sanding band. For this new drill bit, Kiara Sky is promoting that it is the first ever of its kind, and honestly, from my personal experience, I have never seen a small mandrel drill bit like this, so I am very happy that they did decide to release something like this. A little bit about the small mandrel bit is like some features is that it is a 3-point mandrel bit, and then of course the 3-point sanding bands. It is great for smaller nail beds, so if you yourself have smaller nail beds, or if you're a nail tech or just doing other people's nails, nails and they have smaller nail beds, it is definitely going to come in handy there. Precision and durability, like I mentioned about prepping under jelly tips, like I am going to show here. And then it is compatible with e-files. So if you don't specifically have the Beyond Pro e-file, you will be able to use this. I'm pretty sure with any e-file that you have. I think it is just a standard drill bit and it is universal to be able to use it with other brands of e-files. You can see me here that I did just put one of the sanding bands on the drill bit. I pulled out some of the Kiara Sky jelly tips and I took the smallest size, which I believe it is a size 9 or 10, something like that, the smallest size jelly tip in this case here. I pulled that out and I kind of just wanted to demonstrate how easy it is going to now be to prep or etch the underside of jelly tips. I was so amazed with this. I have always struggled anytime that I kind of show doing this, and I usually only do it on the largest one because, like I always mention, I don't leave my nail tips on, but I never really thought like if I were to go in with the larger sanding band and try to etch the inside of the smallest nail tip, it was going to be so difficult to do. I did want to show it here just so you can actually see like me doing the smallest nail tip with the larger mandrel and then doing the smallest nail tip with the smallest mandrel, and you can definitely tell a difference. I mean, I was struggling trying to etch the inside of this nail tip. Not only is the nail tip very small and hard to hold, but it is also very difficult to get this large drill bit to fit inside the nail tip without bumping the edges and just really being able to etch the entire nail tip there. You can see that mainly I was only able to reach the sides of the nail. It kind of deformed the nail tip a little bit, and overall it was just difficult to do. But with the small mandrel, it was very easy. I was easily able to etch the inside of the nail tip. I didn't cause any deformation with the actual nail tip, and honestly, I am just super excited because not only can you use this drill bit for that, but it is also nice because of how small it is going to really help with precision and accuracy and just being able to do different things a lot easier than it would if you were using the larger mandrel. So now let's go ahead and go in with some nail prep. I did start by pushing back my cuticles, and for some reason I did not use the small mandrel drill bit. I don't know what I was thinking when I was doing this, but I decided to use a buffer to remove the shine from my natural nails, but I'm so mad at myself, honestly, because I should have tried using the small mandrel, but don't worry, it is going to be very useful. I'm going to be using it in a lot of upcoming videos because I do really like the small mandrel. Again, I'm so excited that they had this launch, and I think it is something that is a necessity, especially even if you're doing gel extensions or, of course, if you have smaller nail beds. So after I pushed back my cuticles, I removed the shine, I brushed away all of the dust. I'm now taking the prep steps from the Kiara Sky Jelly Tips Starter Kit. Step number 1, which was the dehydrator. I applied that to dehydrate my natural nail beds. I'm now going in with step number 2, which is the primer, applying that to prime my nail beds. And then finally, I'm going in with my gel base coat, applying a layer of that and curing for 30 seconds in the nail lamp. Of course, like I mentioned, all of that is just for educational purposes since I did go in with my peel-off base coat, but those are the prep steps that I do on my toenails when I'm doing gel extensions on my toes, and I can get my toenails to last 4+ weeks and honestly months. If you've seen my toenail extension video, I do talk about that a little bit more, but definitely if you want your gel extensions to last, definitely go in with good prep, apply that primer, dehydrator, and your base coat, and you should be able to get your nails to last 3+ weeks. Another crucial step is definitely etching and priming the inside of the nail tip as well. I didn't actually show this just because I did show that quick little tidbit in the beginning of the video where I use that small mandrel to etch the inside of the nail tip, but you definitely want to go in there, etch the nail tip, and also just to furthermore help the nail tip bond a little bit better is taking step number 2, the primer, and also applying that to the inside of the nail tip as well. So I went ahead, sized out my nail tips. I'm using the short square from Kiara Sky, and I am going to be doing hyper realistic Gel X nails in today's video. I know that this has been super trendy, and honestly, I have seen so many people do it with acrylic, but I am not a huge fan of acrylic. I just don't really like the monomer smell, so I kind of avoid acrylic. I do still like using acrylic though, and I will have some more acrylic videos coming out, especially because I am now a brand ambassador for Kiara Sky, and I do really like their acrylic powder. But I wanted to try doing hyper realistic nails, but doing them Gel X instead of using acrylic. So I'm starting off here, and honestly, this is the first place where I assumed that I should start. So I sized out my nail tips, and I'm now going in with kind of like a little marker pen, and I'm placing the nail tip on my natural nail. I'm adding a little mark where the actual free edge of my natural nail is, and basically I want this mark to be below my actual free edge. That way I can hide the actual free edge of my natural nail. I hope that makes sense. This is going to be a very hard voiceover for me to do because this was kind of a experiment seeing if I could do hyper realistic nails. Of course, this is my first time trying this, and honestly, the end result, I didn't love them and I didn't feel like they looked super realistic, but overall the entire process I did feel like it was pretty easy to achieve. And when I did do my thumb, I did my thumb as a Instagram reel, and that was kind of my second attempt because I did all 4 of my nails filming a YouTube video, and then once I had those on, I went ahead and did my thumb off camera for a Instagram reel. And honestly, I think my thumbnail turned out the best because it was my second attempt. I knew what I did wrong for the first try of doing these hyper realistic Gel X nails, and then for my thumb I was able to redeem myself a little bit, and I do think that my thumb kind of turned out the best, and I'll talk more about that once we get into the actual doings of the nail set here. But I pulled out some gel polishes, just thinking of colors that I could mix together to create that like natural nail length part of the nail. So I pulled out kind of like a taupe or like a nude color. I pulled out this pastel yellow. I was kind of thinking like cream color, so I have like a little creamy nude, and I just put some of those out on my palette. I mixed that up, and I was kind of just eyeballing it. I didn't want it to be too yellow. I didn't want it to be too orange or too dark. I wanted really that perfect cream color that could replicate a length on a natural nail. So basically that's just what I'm doing here. I used those 3 colors from Kiara Sky. When I mixed that up, I did think it was a little bit too yellow. So I went in with some more of like a creamy taupe color or like a creamy nude. I added some more of that to the mix. I mixed that up. I thought it then looked a little bit too dark, and I wanted it to be more of a light tone cream color. So I pulled out a different gel polish, and that one is actually from Nail Reserve, and it is definitely more of a pure cream color, like kind of like an ivory. I put some of that onto the mixture. Once I had mixed this cream color into the color mixture here, I thought I had a pretty good color match. Again, I was kind of just eyeballing it, really focusing on what I didn't want and more focusing on what I had pictured in my mind, and of course also looking at other hyper realistic nail sets that I have seen on my For You page and stuff like that. But I thought this color looked pretty good. Of course, if you have a different skin tone, or if your nail bed color, if you know the actual color for your like nail length color, you can add more yellow, you can add more cream, you can really just make this color unique and make it your own, and just however you see that you want the color to look. Another add-in, I just went in with about like 1 to 2 drops of a top coat and mix that in really well as well. This really didn't do much other than make it a little bit more of like a sheer color, and I don't feel like that's really necessary. You don't have to add in a drop or two of the clear gel polish, but of course you can, especially if you think your color is too pigmented, because really we don't want a super pigmented color, but at the same time I feel like it will look good if your color is pigmented, because I went in with 2 coats and I feel like if I wouldn't have added those drops of clear, I wouldn't had to have done that. But either way, it is trial and error. This is my first time trying hyper realistic nails, and seeing most tutorials being acrylic, I was kind of just winging it here, doing an experiment, seeing if I could make this work. So once I had the color mix all mixed up, I was ready to actually apply it to the nail tips. So that is why I created that line with the marker, because that was kind of my stencil and where I wanted the smile line to be. So doing this was very, very challenging to get a very crisp and clean smile line. I was struggling. I could not get the smile line like to be as clean as I wanted it to be. It was kind of like doing a French tip. Well, basically, that's what I was doing, but doing it on the inside of the nail tip, it was a struggle. I went in with the first coat. I tried taking my time and really getting a clean smile line. I cured for 30 seconds, and then now you can see me going in with a second coat just to help build up that color. And I feel like the second coat is what really made them look super realistic, even though I don't really love the end result, because I don't think they are the best hyper realistic nails. But I am proud of myself that I tried this. I'm also proud that I tried doing it Gel X, like doing Gel X hyper realistic nails. And I also had definitely learned from my mistakes that if you guys would want me to try this again, or maybe you're thinking of something different that I could do to make it better, feel free to let me know down in the comment section, because I do really like this nail trend, and I think it is nice to have like a nail set that looks super real, looks like they're your natural nails, but it is just nail extensions. So let me know down below if you think of something that I could change, try this again, and it might help me or might be a little bit easier to do. But once I had on the 2 coats, I popped the nails off the nail stand. I used a lint-free wipe and some rubbing alcohol, and I went ahead and removed the line for like the blue line that I had drawn on. And then that's when I was really able to see that the smile lines were not clean. They were super wonky, and I was thinking, how can I fix this? And then I remembered that small mandrel drill bit may come in so handy right now. So I pulled that out and I kept my drill on a low speed of about like 2 to 3 RPMs. And I used that on the inside to help clean up and crisp up that smile line. I did do this for most of the nails, and really, I don't really know what more to explain about this. I kind of was just very careful, trying to really straighten out that smile line as best as I could. Of course, this still didn't make it perfect, but it did help out a lot. And honestly, again, that drill bit coming in handy, coming in clutch. It is definitely a must-have to your collection. I highly recommend you picking up that small mandrel with some sanding bands. It will definitely help you out if you have smaller nail beds, if you struggle to clean around your cuticle, or of course, it will totally come in handy if you do your own Gel X nails. So I'm just going to go ahead and let the rest of this play out, because I have been talking a lot, and really it's just super simple. I'm wiping off the blue line and then going in with the drill bit to just remove and clean up the smile line. Once I had the smile line all cleaned up on the nails, this is kind of where it went downhill. So I was looking at the nails on the palette and I realized that you could see the number of the nail tip through the nail, like through the gel polish. And I was so upset about this. I was already sitting here so long trying to make this work, trying to figure everything out. And I was just so bummed when I realized that you could see the number. So I kind of just thought maybe I can apply some gel polish on top to just like a very thin and small amount, but to help hide and cover that number. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I made in this nail set. So when it came around to doing my thumb, since I knew that, I did go ahead and use that small mandrel and kind of file away the number before applying my gel polish, and it made a huge difference with how my thumbnail turned out. So definitely, if you're going to do this, take that small mandrel and remove the number before doing anything, or you will be able to see it. And of course, the whole part about these nails is making them look realistic, and having that number there is just going to kind of ruin the whole entire concept. So I went ahead and applied these nails. I used step number 3, the builder, to apply the nails like always. I applied the builder to the nail tip. I started at the cuticle, slowly lowering it at a 45-degree angle until the product has reached the free edge and there's no air bubbles. I then went ahead and cured for 15 seconds in the nail lamp. I did it to all of the nails, and then I went ahead and did a full 30-second cure. So putting in the back of my head that you could see the numbers, I kind of just wanted to forget about that at this moment and really focus on how I can improve making these nails look hyper realistic. So what I decided to do is take the hand file and really crisp up the nail shape, removing the side plastic that you could see, also just making them look straight. I also went in with the small mandrel and I'm taking that around the cuticle area. I'm also using this to remove the shine from the nail tips as well. When you are doing hyper realistic nails, you really want to avoid the press-on look completely. So you want to seal in the cuticle, making it look like the nail is growing out from your cuticle. Using this small mandrel really helped me out a lot. Of course, I do still really love the 5-in-1 drill bit. That's what I generally use to seal in my cuticle, but because I was kind of focusing this video on the small mandrel, I did want to give it a try, and honestly, they both are very nice. They get the job done, and I just really love this small mandrel. I'm so obsessed with it. I feel like it is going to be so useful, and honestly, I feel like anytime I'm going to reach for a mandrel, I am going to more likely reach for this smaller one just because I like how tiny it is. I like the precision you can have with it, and I just feel like it really gets in those small spaces that a larger one might not be able to reach or get to. So I went ahead and just removed the shine, sealed in the cuticles for all of the nails, and then I used my dust brush to remove all of the nail dust. Something I do want to mention is because I applied a peel-off base coat and I don't actually have any color on these nails, you may see some like bubble looking areas on the nails, and the reason for that is because the nails want to lift after I'm finished with my filing because of that peel-off base coat. So keep that in mind. The gel is completely cured under my nails, but because I have on that peel-off base coat after filing and doing all of that movement with the nails do want to pop off. So that kind of did irritate me a little bit as well when I was doing this nail set, because you could see that I did have to pop a couple nails off, reapply my peel-off base coat, and reapply the nail to try to get rid of that bubble because it was just taking away from the hyper realistic look. But obviously, if you're doing these nails and not applying a peel-off base coat, you won't have to worry about that at all. But to help hide up those numbers, I took a little bit of that same colored gel, applied that very thinly to the nails because I didn't want to bulk up the nails because that was just, again, going to take away from the hyper realistic look. But I applied that, I cured for 30 seconds, and then I went in with a matte top coat. I applied that to all of the nails, cured that for 30 seconds, And I was finished with the nail set. You can see there, look at that thumbnail. That was my favorite and the best one. I did take my rose scented cuticle oil, which is also from Kiara Sky. I applied that to my cuticles to nourish them. And of course, like I always say, top off the nail set. And here is the finished look. For my first attempt at these hyper realistic Gel X nails, I am very proud of myself, and honestly they do kind of look realistic, but the smile line is just what really gets me. I feel like I need to know an easier way to get a very clean smile line to make them look just a little bit more realistic. For the thumbnail, I was loving that one. I thought it looked so freaking good. I don't know what about it. I think maybe just because it was my basically a second attempt at this, and I already knew how I messed up on the other nails, so trying to improve that for my thumb, I just feel like that nail honestly turned out the best, but it kind of gets tucked away and you don't really get to see the thumb too much. I would really love to try this nail trend again. Let me know down below if you have any ideas of things that I could change to just make it easier, or just something that you may have in mind that I could try next time. A quick little update that I do want to let you all know about before I end out this video is the Kiara Sky dust collector will be restocking at 9 a.m. PST this Friday, June 16th. So if you didn't get to get your dust collector when they first released them, there is a restocking coming this Friday. So definitely make sure you have your clock set if you do want to get a dust collector, and if you missed out the first time. I actually was sent the dust collector when they first released them, but because they sold out so quickly, I wasn't able to really do a video on them because it would be kind of pointless. But I really hope that you guys did enjoy this nail set. All of the information for the mandrel drill bit, the sanding bands, and anything else I did use in today's video will be down in the description box below. But I really hope you guys did enjoy the video. But as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.